Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Annabi and today I am with Aisha Rosalie.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
And in today's video, I will be asking her some questions about her revert story. She did my revert story in her channel, so if you want to follow her channel, then you can follow her. I will put the links down in the description box down below. So I will just start right now with the first question. I will just ask you the same thing. What was your religion before you converted to Islam, and were you religious?
So, I didn't have any religion before converting to Islam. I experimented with a lot of different religions. So, at one time, I experimented with Hinduism and Christianity and so many different things. I tried them out just a little bit. And I always believed in God. I remember being a child laying in my bed talking to God. I used to do it a lot, but I never had a religion, and my parents were not religious. So I don't know why, but as a kid, you kind of have this innate feeling like there's a creator. And I used to talk to God all the time. And I lost that growing up. I completely forgot that I used to do it until I was Muslim, and then I remembered again. But I didn't have any religion, but I wouldn't have called myself an atheist because I did believe in a God.
Okay, alhamdulillah. So how did you find Islam?
So my revert story is all set in Istanbul. So I was in Istanbul. I was traveling there not for good intentions. I wasn't that great of a person before I become Muslim. I was committing a lot of sins. Obviously, I won't go into them because it's not good to share, but I didn't go to Istanbul for pure intentions. So when I was in Istanbul, I was very lost. I'd gradually becoming a sort of worse person every day. I was in this kind of downward spiral of into not really a nice lifestyle. So Allah really found me lost when I was in Istanbul. I was very lost, and He guided me. I knew some Muslims in the UK, but I'd never been to a Muslim country before. It's the first time I'd ever been to a Muslim country. So I feel like it was the first time I really got to meet real Muslims. And I think the character of the people here really was a big thing for me, because I think having good character is the best form of dawah. It's the best way anyone can make dawah, right? It's having good
Yes.
character. A character that someone looks at and thinks, I want to be like this person. That's good character. And I wasn't looking for religion. I definitely wasn't. But I was kind of bored one day and I thought, oh, maybe I'll do some touristy things. So I went to the Blue Mosque here in Istanbul. And before I went in, I brought a hijab because you have to wear a hijab when you go in. And I didn't want to be disrespectful to the mosque.
Yeah.
So I brought this hijab, I went in, and I also had prayer beads as well in my pocket because I had a friend in London who wanted me to buy like a souvenir for them. So I bought these prayer beads that I found and I thought they were cool. So I had them in my pocket just as a coincidence. I didn't plan on bringing them in the masjid. But I remember going into the masjid and just thinking, wow, this is so beautiful. And I sat down and I remembered that I had these prayer beads in my pocket. So I pulled them out and I started using them. I looked up on Google what you're supposed to do. And it said on Google, like, say Subhanallah. So I was like, Subhanallah, like trying to say it and trying to do the beads. I just thought I'd just try it just out of curiosity. And I sat there for probably around an hour just doing Tasbeeh. I just come out of the masjid and that's when I heard the Azan for the first time. And that hit me, like similar to your story, that hit me a lot. I remember standing in the street and just hearing the Azan and just being so overwhelmed by what I was hearing. And my phone died in that moment. It was really strange. My phone was on 50% battery, but it just randomly died. And I remember panicking because I was like, oh no, my hostel is like an hour and a half away from here. I don't know how to get there. And I was panicking because I had no way to get back to my hostel. And I remember thinking to myself, look, Allah, if you're real, God, if you're real, whoever you are, help me out. I need to get back to my hostel. Alhamdulillah, I just felt so relaxed in that moment. I just felt like all this weight like dropped from me. And normally I would have panicked in a foreign country, no phone, no cash on me, nothing. I would have panicked. But I was like, no, this is fine. Alhamdulillah, I just walked and I found my hostel. I literally just managed to walk back to my
Wow.
hostel. And when I got there, I picked up a copy of the Quran and I started to read it. It just started from there. I just never stopped reading. I read the whole Quran and I never stopped wearing hijab. I just kept wearing hijab after that day, which I was just so weird, but I just did. And I just enjoyed being Muslim and that feeling. And it took me a long time to declare my Shahada. I was reading the Quran and even praying and even wearing hijab and doing so many Muslim things for a long time before I declared my Shahada. But I think it was the best route for me, alhamdulillah. I can't believe I'm going on this journey. It's just so incredible.
MashaAllah. That's really amazing. I want to also ask because I'm curious, how is it being a Muslim in the UK?
I don't think it's too difficult. There are a lot of Muslims here, especially in London. I
Yeah,
live in London. So I think people are very accepting, and I think British people in general are very accepting of Muslims. I
alhamdulillah.
personally haven't faced any kind of Islamophobia or racism since becoming Muslim in the UK. I know people that have, but alhamdulillah, I've been quite lucky. And there are bad people out there. There are people that are
Yeah,
Islamophobic, but I think in general, people are quite kind and they do have nice intentions. And I do feel like people have been very good to me.
yeah, okay, that's good. And how did your parents and your family and your friends think of you being a Muslim?
My mum, she thought I was going through a phase. So she thought that I was just kind of just doing things and I wasn't really religious and just thought I was just messing about, really. But once she saw that I really become Muslim, that's when she started doing the Googling, like going on Google and finding out all these things about Islam and being like, did you know Muslims do this and they do this? And all negative things, of course. She was finding all these
Oh,
horrible, like negative things. And in
yeah,
a way, it was good because it forced me to then look at the Quran, look at the scholars and the hadiths and stuff, and think, okay, how can I answer her questions? So I did have to do a lot of research. I did have to debunk those myths in her head as well. So in a way, it was a good thing. And now she's very accepting. She does these really adorable things. Like sometimes I'll be praying and she'll be shouting me, like she'll be like, Charlotte. Oh, Charlotte was my name before I became Muslim. She'll be like, Charlotte,
oh,
Charlotte. And then and then I'll like not answer because I'll be praying. And then she'll be like, oh, she's praying, and we'll like put her hands on her mouth or something. It's like she's very accepting now. She's really sweet.
alhamdulillah. Oh,
Yeah.
so the last question, what advice would you give to people who are interested in Islam?
I think the best advice is something that I didn't do, but I wish I'd done, is reach out to people. Reach out
Mhm.
to, I think even reach out to converts, reverts to Islam, because I think it's really good to hear someone else's story who's been on your journey, who can understand your journey and can answer any questions you have about your journey. And we're all here. There's me, there's you, there's lots of us on social media, on YouTube, that you can reach out to. You can message us on Instagram, you can email us if there's email addresses. You can reach out to us. And I think just talk to us. We want to hear from you. We will answer your questions. We're not going to ignore you. And just reach out to people, whether it's born Muslims, whether it's convert Muslims. Tell people about your interest. Be honest with any questions you have. There's no stupid questions. Just ask them.
Yeah,
And I think that's the best advice, is reach out to people and tell them about what you're thinking and feeling and ask questions.
yeah, I agree. It's always good to just get as much information as you can and research and don't believe everything that you hear,
Oh,
especially from non-Muslims or someone who is maybe against Islam. It's not good. Always good to search the right sources. Okay,
definitely.
so yeah, that's all I wanted to ask you. Thank you for accepting to be in this interview with me. And
Thank
I just
you.
wish
Thank
you
you.
all the best.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you all. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.